When your dog suddenly bites you, do you actually know what they're trying to communicate? Most people immediately label it as aggression or dominance, but the truth is often far more complex than that. In many cases, a sudden bite is your dog's way of expressing something they can't put into words. And if you miss what they're really trying to tell you, you could damage your bond without even knowing it. Let's break down what that bite actually means. 1. When they bite during petting or cuddling. Have you ever been sitting with your dog, stroking their fur? Everything feels peaceful, and suddenly they turn their head and snap at you? It catches you completely off guard, like they went from relaxed to reactive in the blink of an eye. But here's what most people don't realize. Your dog didn't just flip a switch. You missed the signals they were sending long before that bite happened. Dogs have tolerance limits for physical touch, and those limits vary wildly from dog to dog. What feels like a loving, bonding moment to you might be building into sensory overload for them. Research from animal behavior specialists shows that dogs display clear discomfort signals well before they ever resort to biting. But most owners either don't notice these signs or mistake them for something else entirely. A tail that stops wagging and goes stiff. Eyes that get wider or look away repeatedly. A mouth that closes tight or starts panting when they weren't hot. Muscles that tense up under your touch even though they're sitting still. These aren't signs your dog is enjoying the interaction. These are polite requests for you to stop. And when those requests go unnoticed over and over, the bite becomes their only option left. The solution is more straightforward than most people think. Watch your dog's body language in the first few minutes of any interaction. If anything shifts, even subtly, give them space immediately. Let them move away if they want to. You'll actually strengthen your relationship by respecting their boundaries than by forcing affection they're not comfortable with. And here's something that might catch you off guard. Not every bite means your dog is uncomfortable. There's one specific type of bite that communicates something completely different. And when you discover what it really reveals about your dog's feelings toward you, it could transform how you interpret their behavior forever. I'll explain that one at the end. 2. They learned that biting gets results. Why does your dog bite when they want something from you? Maybe it's when you're near their food bowl, or when you try to take away a toy, or when they want to go outside right now. The bite seems to come out of nowhere, but here's the reality. Somewhere along the line, your dog learned that biting works, and you probably taught them that lesson without realizing it. Dogs are incredibly smart when it comes to cause and effect. If they nipped at you once and you immediately backed off, gave them what they wanted, or stopped doing whatever they didn't like, you just reinforced that behavior. Their brain made a direct connection. Bite equals getting my way. It's not malicious. It's not them trying to dominate you. It's simple learned behavior that got accidentally rewarded. Studies in canine behavior have shown that dogs who successfully use biting to control their environment will repeat that behavior with increasing frequency. Because from their perspective, it's the most efficient communication tool they have. And the problem compounds when owners react inconsistently. Sometimes you correct the behavior, sometimes you give in because it's easier, sometimes you don't notice it happen at all. That inconsistency makes the behavior even harder to break because your dog never knows which response they'll get. The fix requires complete consistency from everyone in your household. Never reward a bite with compliance. If your dog bites to get something, they need to lose access to that thing immediately. If they bite when you approach their food, the food gets removed. If they bite when you reach for a toy, the toy disappears. You're not punishing them, you're simply showing them that biting produces the exact opposite result of what they wanted. Pair this with teaching them alternative ways to communicate. Reward sitting, waiting, gentle behavior. Within a few weeks, most dogs will abandon biting entirely because it stops working and they have better options. 3. Something is physically wrong. What if your dog bit you not out of behavioral issues, but because they're hurting? This is the one that devastates owners once they finally understand it. Because by the time they figure out what's happening, they've often been punishing a dog that was desperately trying to protect an injury or illness. Dogs have an incredible ability to mask pain and discomfort. It's hardwired into them from their evolutionary past. Showing weakness made them vulnerable, so they learned to hide it. Your dog will continue their normal routine, eat their meals, play with toys, act like everything is fine until someone touches the area that's causing them pain. And that's when the bite happens. Not because they're being aggressive, but because you just made something that already hurt even worse. Hip dysplasia, ear infections, digestive problems, old injuries that never fully healed, even something as simple as a thorn in their paw. These conditions won't necessarily change how your dog moves through their day. But the second your hand finds that sensitive spot, their reaction is instant and protective. A dog who has never shown aggression in their entire life will bite reflexively if the pain is severe enough. Here's what you need to watch for. If the biting behavior is recent and out of character. If it only occurs when you touch specific parts of their body. If your dog suddenly pulls away from touch they used to seek out. If they're more irritable than usual or sleeping in different positions. Don't write it off as a behavior problem. Schedule a veterinary exam as soon as possible. You might discover an underlying medical issue that's been developing silently for weeks or months, because sometimes that single bite is your dog's only way of telling you something is seriously wrong. 4. They're protecting their resources. Have you ever walked past your dog while they were chewing a bone and they suddenly lunged and bit you? Or reached toward their bed and got snapped at? That's resource guarding, and it's one of the most misunderstood reasons dogs bite. It's not about being mean or trying to be the boss. It's about fear of losing something valuable. From your dog's perspective, they have something important, and your approach signals a potential threat to that resource. It doesn't matter that you weren't actually going to take it. What matters is what their instincts told them in that moment, and their instincts said protect what's yours. You'll often see warning signs before the actual bite. A freeze over their food or toy, a hard stare, a low growl, lips pulling back, body positioning that blocks your access. These aren't signs of a bad dog. These are signs of a dog who feels insecure about their possessions, and when those warnings get ignored or punished, biting becomes their next line of defense. Research in veterinary behavior shows that resource guarding often stems from scarcity experiences, either in puppyhood or from inconsistent access to valued items. The absolute worst response is to physically challenge them, grab the item anyway, or punish them for growling. That teaches them their warnings don't work, so they'll skip straight to biting next time. Instead, teach them that your presence near their stuff means good things happen. Toss treats when you walk by their bowl. Trade up, offer something better in exchange for what they have. Build trust that resources aren't scarce, and you're not a threat to what's theirs. Resource guarding can be modified, but it takes patience and a complete shift in how you approach these situations. 5. It's actually how they show affection. Remember when I mentioned there's one type of bite that means something completely different from everything else we've covered? This is it. And once you recognize it, your entire understanding of your dog's communication will shift. Some bites aren't corrections. They're not pain responses, not fear, not resource guarding. They're love. Your dog is using their mouth to express affection. And if you've ever had your dog gently mouth your hand while you're relaxing together, now you know what it means. These are called mouthing or affection bites, and behaviorists trace them back to puppyhood. Puppies explore their world with their mouths. They play with their littermates using gentle biting. It's how they learn boundaries and build relationships. So when your adult dog does this with you, they're not being aggressive, they're treating you like their family. You can distinguish an affection bite from every other type by the context and intensity. It's soft, controlled. There's no force behind it. Your dog's body is completely relaxed. Their tail might be wagging slowly. They're not trying to create distance or send a warning. They're actually trying to get closer to you. It's one of the most trusting behaviors your dog can display. The biggest mistake is reacting negatively. If you jerk away, yell, or punish them, you're essentially rejecting their attempt at bonding. So next time it happens, stay calm, acknowledge them gently, and understand that in that quiet moment, your dog is saying you're my person in the only way they know how.